Austin A60 Hearse. This vehicle is still in service and is owned by a funeral directors. They are dead keen for me to get on with this so it can go back into use. It's come to me because of some decomposition on the doors. Some new doors in much better condition have been purchased, but the tops of the doors and glass has been modified when the coach builders changed the vehicle to a hearse. The roof is higher than the original vehicle. My job is to modify these doors to make them fit. There is a good few inches of difference. The first thing I want to know is how the coach builders did this when the hearse was first built. I can see a section that was added to the window frame on the rear part of the frame only. I can't see any other modifications, so the rest of the frame I suspect was just bent to fit. Carefully cutting in the same location as originally done, I want a nice square cut. There is plenty of flex in the frame, but bending without heat is not going to be the way forward. The strength is going to be in the widest part of the frame, so here is where I'll concentrate the heat. The outer edge needs to shrink and the inner edge needs to stretch on this bend. I can feel what the heat is doing as I lift the other end, and very little force is needed. A little at a time is the method. I certainly don't want anything to twist or buckle. The front bend is too close to the A-pillar. I need to measure the angle of the old window frame just to verify I'm doing the right thing. We have 63.5 degrees on the old door and 66 degrees on the new one. Using heat again to change this, it's getting better but not there yet. After modifying all four corners to fit, I'm now ready to clamp the sections together using bits of steel to help with alignment. I've made a test folded sample, and after a couple of attempts I now know the measurements. Careful butt welding of the piece was required as I want alignment to be as good as possible. I'm going to repair this section in 3 parts, but I have to remove extra on the door sill moulding to be able to access the weld area. I'm pleased with the alignment in all directions. I folded up the final piece and welded that in too. The last thing to make is the door sill moulding. How I'm going to do this is by using a flat piece of 1.5mm steel. In order for this to work, the position of the folded edges needs to be very accurate. I have a backstop on my fly press tool in order to provide repeatability. It took several test samples to get the backstop set up, but once set up you can make this part all day long. Overbending on the fly press allows the finishing to be done with a hammer, then knock out the steel strip. Welding it in place was a little tricky. I certainly don't want any weld protruding internally that will stop the seal seating properly. And that's job done on this side. A fiddly job, but quite an enjoyable one, I'd say. Makes a change working on a hearse, not something I do every day, and I believe there are only 2 A60 hearses in the UK. I notice it has a roof rack. Is this for when things get a little busy and the extra roof storage can be utilised? It's also got a nice little roof vent. One can only imagine why this is important. Also, some lovely chrome boot lid hinges. There are lots of holes in the back where it looks like pegs are fastened, and an adjustable clamp. To accommodate different size coffins, of course. The bottom half of the rear door also opens to reveal more storage space. I don't think this is just for the fuel pump. Someone told me, if you see a hearse with no coffin, that doesn't mean there isn't a coffin in there. It's underneath. This looks like a draining bung, is it? What a thought, eh? Couple child seats in the back there. Now to get on with the left side. This will be a bit harder because I'm right-handed. But at least it's the last doorpost.